Yeah, which I think is well-rounded. I think for me it depends on the situation.
Let me hear it. Let me see it. Let me touch it. Let me taste it. No. Hello and welcome back to the Nuanced AF Pod. I'm Juan.
I'm Lex.
And we are two highly empathetic people that are always trying to find the nuance in everything because everything is nuanced AF. Lex.
Juan.
Lex.
Juan.
Lex, how are you today? On this nice, warm, 80-degree day.
And it's really nice. I'm excited for the nice weather.
Yes, finally, some respite from the
Back and forth of the cold and then the warm and then the
yeah
cold and
the rough winter we had, the unconditional, well, not unconditional, that's the right word, non-traditional harsh weather we had over the winter.
I mean, like, that's the kind of weather that I remember having as a kid, but not remembering, like, in the last, 10 years, it hasn't, even maybe more than that, hasn't really been.
Yeah.
The winters, maybe you'll get a little snow, but nothing like we got.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, dude, what's going on?
I blame global warming.
Yeah, climate change is probably a big reason.
Yeah, but you don't want to hear us talk about the weather. You want to hear us talking about, am I the asshole?
Yeah.
So let's jump right into it because this might be a shorter episode this week.
Mm-hmm.
So, got an interesting one for us.
Okay.
Am I the asshole?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. Am I overreacting? This is an am I overreacting? So similar.
Similar.
Am I overreacting for unplugging the Wi-Fi every night because my roommate's girlfriend basically lives here?
Okay.
My friend mate and I lived together in an apartment. Everything was divided 50-50. Groceries, bills, rent, and so forth. His girlfriend is the problem. She used to visit a few times a week. Completely typical. After that, it became staying overnight most evenings. Right now, she is present each and every day, works from our living room, eats our food, sleeps here, and takes showers here. She even began to act as though she lived here by leaving clothes in the restroom. However, she makes no payment. I attempted to gently bring it up, saying that because there is now essentially a third person present, we should review utilities. He became very defensive, claiming that she was merely her guest and that I was, quote-unquote, counting pennies. A visitor who has been here for 3 weeks. The thing that pushed me over the edge is the Wi-Fi. I work early mornings and need decent internet at night to prep stuff, but she's constantly streaming or gaming. Our connection has gotten noticeably worse. So I started unplugging the router at night before I go to bed. Now both of them are mad. My roommate says I'm being petty and controlling, and her girlfriend made some comment about me, quote-unquote, not knowing how to share space. But I didn't agree to live with her. So, is the OP overreacting?
I mean, I think, like, turning off the Wi-Fi is a little, like I get it, but I don't think that's the way to go about it.
Yeah. I think it feels good to do that.
Yeah.
But
I don't
maybe
think they're
ultimately-
overreacting though, really. Like, I think it's justified to be like, hey.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
I didn't sign up for this.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's like, so I don't think that's weird
Yeah.
to be like, hey, wanna, like, at least for food or something.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
like if you're gonna be spending so much time there and like you're not actually like living there,
Yeah.
I don't know.
If she's not paying anything,
Yeah.
nothing at all,
Yeah, it doesn't
and
seem.
like she's going on for a few weeks now to a month of just every day she's there, like 24/7. I do think that is grounds for reviewing their, like, I don't know how they divide payments on things.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's definitely true.
At least some utilities she could cover, maybe, or even food,
or like a portion of it.
Yeah.
Like, something to like compensate for the fact that she is there quite a bit.
Yeah.
And they're not even asking for like rent or anything. They're asking for like utilities.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, especially I think it'd be nice if she paid the internet bill.
Yeah, for sure.
Because she is using it, and then obviously like the OP is that's the thing that they're harping on, and they unplug the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, like maybe even like pay for like an upgraded like internet service.
There you go.
Because then that'd
be a very nice gesture.
Yeah, that would be a nice gesture. Because
Like,
it's just like you're using a lot of, because maybe they're paying for like just what they need, and then having a third person like is making that like a lot harder. I mean, evidently is making it a lot harder. So
yeah. I don't agree with her though, with her getting defensive, claiming that she was merely her a guest and that the OP was quote unquote counting pennies. Like, I think they're
home.
like, yeah.
I guess goes home at a certain point.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, is this my package?
UPS is pulling up in front of our place, and Lex has been waiting for a package.
Yes. Well,
and we are eyewitnesses now, because like they failed the first time, right?
Well, they failed like another package.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't the same package.
Oh,
damn.
that's big.
Damn.
That looked
Well,
big.
it's all of our cleaning supplies.
Yeah.
I ordered it, and now it's coming here. Like UPS is hit or miss. Like sometimes it's fine, and then other times it's like they can't find this place. So I'm like, okay. Well, I'm satisfied that that's probably ours. So
yeah.
You have found it.
Yeah.
God damn. Like just the way that they're throwing it.
Now we've completely started watching him.
Yeah. I hope he's not like comes back and he sees us watching. Like, judge.
Yeah, we're just two people with a microphone. So So back to this.
We derailed.
I really like your compromise of like, maybe she could pay for like an upgraded like internet service. So like,
and then maybe like contribute to the groceries because like she's eating the food and stuff. That was another complaint. So I think that's very fair. Like, or at least pay for her portion of stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Because I do think like there's a point where it's like, oh well, like it's fine that you're staying there, but you also have to like take everyone else into consideration.
Yeah.
Too, like what's going on.
And I think if she's not paying anything at all, that really looks bad.
Yeah.
But if she's trying to pay for something, like that's better than nothing.
Yeah, I think like just the intention is important.
Yeah, because like, again, we don't know her situation. Like, if I don't know what kind of job she works, but or how much she makes.
Like remote.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't know how much she works, how much she makes. So not knowing any of that, like, just I don't know, just the attempt of like trying to contribute to some of like the household bills, I'm sure would be more than appreciated and
for sure
maybe overdue.
And that's why this is where it gets like a little weird, because it's like I think that like once this person started staying over like pretty consistently, I think that's when it should have been a conversation of like, oh, like, hey, I'd like to contribute this much since I'm going to be around so much.
Yeah.
It's like I get if like these like two people like aren't in a place where like they're ready to like officially move in together. So the other person is like maintaining their own space like elsewhere, but I do think if they're spending so much time there, like there should be some like monetary contribution. So
this was the one I had last week. If I didn't find the I think we were talking about a Hannah Montana one. That was kind of like the Santa Claus. The whole fiasco of like, oh my God, Miley and Hannah are the same person. Yeah, that's the point of the show.
Yeah, it's literally the point of the show.
So, yeah. As far as answering the question, are they overreacting?
I don't think they're overreacting.
I don't think they're overreacting. I do think unplugging the router, again, would feel good in the moment.
Yeah.
But maybe in the long run, not the best way to approach it.
Yeah, I would say not the best way to approach it. And then also like a little petty. I get that they're like trying to send a message.
Yeah.
Because like they did try to talk and evidently that didn't go very well. So.
Yeah, I think a little bit of pettiness is sometimes justified. Sometimes.
Yeah, I think sometimes, like especially if it's like not getting through.
Yeah. Like being petty doesn't automatically mean you're wrong.
No. Being petty doesn't necessarily mean you're wrong. It's just not always the best way to approach things.
Right.
Like, but I think in this case, it's like I think that would have been good if that was like a wake up call, but it seemed to just like anger them.
Yeah.
So maybe again not the best solution, but
Yeah.
I think like their frustration is justified for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess the nuance here is like if you're gonna stay somewhere, like do your best to contribute something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure.
And don't get mad if like you've been, I don't know, basically living rent free, like free period. Don't get mad if like someone starts to say something.
Yeah, exactly. Like I get that like this person's probably like again like maintaining a place elsewhere, but it's like still like eventually there has to be like some boundary.
Yeah, I wonder what's the deal with that. Like, do they have another place?
They probably do because they're this couple like isn't in the place where like they feel comfortable moving in with one another.
Oh, okay.
So it's like you don't know how new they are, but it doesn't necessarily matter either. It's like you could be dating for a year or two. That doesn't necessarily mean you're ready to move in together.
Yeah. But if you're there 24/7,
yeah,
and this has been going on for a while,
then
you're getting quite comfortable there.
Yeah. I think that there needs to be like some discussion.
Yeah.
Like either the roommate and their partner need to like move out and together, and this person needs another roommate, or like.
Or maybe she's still living with her parents. Who knows?
Yeah, true. Maybe. Yeah. So like that's also a fair point. But even so, it's like I think that still deserves like an explanation. Like I think if they were more forthright,
Yeah.
it might have been like easier for the person to understand like why they were hanging around so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say the OP is overreacting.
No.
A little petty, but not overreacting.
Yeah, a little petty, but not overreacting.
Alrighty. Let's keep it moving. Right into some TikToks.
TikToks. Let's see. Parking lot theory.
Have you guys heard of the parking lot theory? It shows up almost every time people go somewhere. When you pull into a parking lot, most people immediately start looking for the closest spot to the entrance, even if it means circling the parking lot, waiting for someone to leave, or squeezing into a tight space. But other people do something a little bit different. They just park further away and walk.
That's me.
Because to them, the additional 20 to 30 seconds really doesn't matter. And that small decision reveals something interesting about how people think. Some people are wired to take the shortest possible route every time. Others are more comfortable taking the slightly longer route if it's simpler and less stressful. At the end of the day, it's not even about the parking lot. It's whether somebody prioritizes immediate convenience or overall ease. So my question for you, do you park in the closest spot to the entrance, or are you okay walking? Have you guys...
I am very okay walking.
I'm very okay walking too.
Yeah, no, a front spot, would be nice, but I like to I even did this like in my older car, but like I didn't like to park near people. I like parking away. I like finding pull-throughs.
Yeah, pull-throughs are great. Parking far away. I also like the ease of leaving because when you park in like a front spot, like everyone's trying to turn in, like then you have to like be extra cautious when you're backing out, and you're just like, I don't want to deal with that, so just park further away.
I've also reframed my mind to not be like, oh, but like the entrance is so far away, gotta walk really far.
Yeah.
I've reprogrammed my mind to be like, hey, extra steps that I'm taking today.
Yeah, I think I've never had that thought really. I've always parked farther away. I also think that my parents do this too, and so that's probably where I got it from, like to do that, because like neither my mom or my dad ever cared about like walking far, so they were like, yeah, it's fine. My dad usually did it to like protect his cars, where like my mom, I feel like my mom probably did that a little bit too, but I also think that she just didn't want to be around other people. So she's like, I'm gonna...
All valid things. Like I hate when I'm parked farther away and then someone comes and parks right next to me. I'm just like...
Yeah, that's a little
brother,
like...
we're far enough away where like you could have at least given me one spot over.
Yeah. Like you could have did every other.
Yeah.
Like that extra little bit's not going to hurt, but
yeah.
I don't know. Like the time that I think that this is maybe a little bit more nuanced is if like you have like mobility issues.
Yeah.
Where like you do need like either a disabled parking spot or like you need to park like closer.
Yeah.
For like mobility stuff. I think that's like definitely valid.
Yeah.
Because then it's like it's just easier to get from point A to point B.
Yeah.
That's the
I also
point.
think if parking is limited and you have no choice,
Yeah.
just take whatever spot.
Yeah, just take what, because like sometimes parking lots are small.
Yeah.
And it's like you can only do so much. But generally,
Yeah.
I don't really mind walking. Like
Yeah.
if it's like any like really big box store, like I don't mind being like, let's just park farther away. It's like less convenient like going to the store, but it's like not. It's easier to like leave the store.
Right.
Yeah.
I even do this when I'm driving. If I'm going somewhere, and there's like an easier, simpler route, but maybe it takes longer. If I'm not in a hurry, I might take that over like the most direct way.
Yeah, and sometimes that saves you money, like when it comes to like tolls and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because like at this point, it's like the little bit of gas you're using is worth the extra money for the toll, because the tolls are expensive.
Yeah. But we're from South Jersey, so going into like Philly,
that's an expensive toll.
Well, the toll's expensive, but your other option is to drive an extra hour.
Yeah.
To go all the way up and all the way around and back down, to where it's just like, okay, the toll is pretty much your only option at that point.
Like there are certain routes like you have to take.
Yeah.
Like that has a toll, so.
Yeah. So. Yeah, there's some nuance there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's a good one though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let us know in the comments. Do you park real close, or do you park farther away?
Let's do another one.
Mm-hmm.
Metacognition, thinking about your thinking.
I really like this one.
Yeah.
Especially,
I do that all the time.
Oh yeah.
Like
me too.
I think about how I think, especially with my anxiety.
Ugh.
I think about my thinking patterns when it comes to my anxiety.
Yep.
Like, I'm just like, damn.
So one of the clear signs of intelligence is not how fast you think, it's whether you can think about your thinking. That's called metacognition. It's the ability to catch yourself in real time, to notice, I might be biased, I'm getting emotional, I'm overconfident right now, or I could be wrong. So most people think intelligence is this raw brain power, pattern recognition, memory, and problem-solving speed. But that's just the engine. So metacognition is the steering wheel. You can have a powerful engine and still crash if you can't steer. Psychologically, metacognition lets you monitor yourself. It helps you separate feelings from facts. It helps you adjust strategy instead of doubling down when things aren't working. It's what allows someone to say, wait, let me reconsider. And that's rare, because updating your beliefs feels like a threat to your identity, and most people would rather defend their ego than update their model. And here's the difference. A smart person can win arguments. A metacognitive person can question whether they should be arguing in the first place. A smart person can justify their position beautifully. A metacognitive person can notice when they're rationalizing. It's a different level. But here's the most important part, right? Pay attention. Metacognition alone is not enough. You also need honesty, because some people are very good at analyzing their own thoughts and then using that analysis to build even stronger excuses. So real intelligence shows up when evidence threatens their position and you still adjust. That's when you know someone isn't just clever, they're calibrated. And the ability to calibrate your own mind compounds. So over the years, that's the difference between someone who stays stuck and someone who keeps evolving.
I really like that, especially the part where like you gotta add honesty on top of all that.
Yeah. I think that's definitely true. It's a different like level of like thinking and like intelligence, for sure. That's actually a little hard for me to like comprehend that like other people don't do
this?
that. Yeah,
Yes.
like because I'm like, how do you not think about your thinking?
Because I think,
But some people just act.
right,
Yeah.
and I think
And that's it.
maybe you're the same way too. But like, I definitely feel like through both my nature and my nurture of growing up, like I just had to be someone that was like hyper aware, and that included like includes like myself, how I think,
Yeah.
how I feel, why I'm thinking and feeling this stuff, how that's causing chain reactions, what I can do to, I don't know, like be better in the future, improve.
I think all of that makes sense.
But you definitely know there's people out there in the world that are not thinking like that at all.
Yeah, that they're more action based. I like what he said about ego as well, that some people would rather like defend themselves into the ground instead of admitting that like they maybe are wrong about something.
Yeah. And even if they are right, if why they're arguing in the first place, if it's not a good reason, then it's kind of all for naught, and you're just arguing to defend your ego.
Yeah, and like there's like argument to
arguments.
Well, yeah, there's arguments for the sake of arguing, but there's also arguing like, to gain clarity, like to see another person's like side of things. Yes. I think that's fine. That's more like debate than argument. But I think that there comes a point where sometimes, people just double down on like their behavior or like double down on like their ways of thinking because they just refuse to be wrong. Yeah. And that becomes its own kind of problem, because if you can't admit when you're wrong, then ultimately, like, I feel like your relationship suffers, because like, how do you have relationships if you're unwilling to see the error of your ways? Yeah. Or at least how do you have fulfilling relationships? Because I feel like you can't, like, if you're not willing to admit that sometimes you're not always right. It's awfully like, that seems like an awfully sad way to live. Yeah. Really.
And not to undermine your point, but like also like, is being right more important sometimes than
to certain people? Yeah.
Well, for sure. Is being right more important than, I guess, for lack of a better term, being happy?
Being happy, yeah. Or the relationship you're with currently, like, if you're arguing with somebody or like trying to prove your point like so vehemently, and then is being right more important than the person that you're talking to? Yeah. And if that's true, then well, clearly you don't value the relationship very much.
Yeah, I think that's more of what I was alluding to.
Yeah. I think a lot of times people operate from like places of like hurt and like shame when it comes to like stuff like that. I do think that most people don't try to like double down or like be like really like just like in their ego about things, but I also do think that that's a very common like gut reaction a lot of people have. I think it does show like a lot of growth if you're able to step back, especially in the moment, and be like, oh, why am I actually upset? Like, why am I feeling the way that I'm feeling? I think that's very hard to do, and it's not always like easy when you're very elevated. I feel like a lot of parents describe that, where you have to be like, I am mad at my child right now, but also need to realize that they are a small person and they are learning, and that I was also there at one point as well, and you have to think a lot about how your child is perceiving the things that you're saying.
That's a whole nother level to it, like parenting. You got to think about how you're thinking, and you got to think about how your child is thinking at that age.
Yeah. Like what is within their limits.
Yeah.
Like,
and their limits will not look like your limits.
No,
and, I think a lot of adults forget that.
Yeah. I think a lot of people have the viewpoint of like, when like, this may seem like kind of like arbitrary, but when child labor was a thing and they viewed children as like just tiny adults instead of actual developing people, like, it's like, no, they're not just small like adults. They have like little brains that are trying to become adults, but they're not adults yet. Yeah. Yeah. So I just think that's funny that that some parents and just people in general view children that way, that it's like, oh, you can understand this 6-year-old. And I do think that sometimes that's fine. Like sometimes children are underestimated, but I also think sometimes they're overestimated in what they can understand developmentally.
I think the only time they're overestimated is when it's convenient for the parent and they're kind of demanding that.
Yeah, exactly.
That level of like behavior and empathy and reasoning and thinking from the child that it's just not there yet, or they don't have the tools to understand.
Yeah, or parents have expectations that like don't make sense or don't align with like what the parents have taught them. It's like, if you've never taught your child to clean up after themselves, how are they going to clean up after themselves? Like, it's just like, maybe they'll do by example, but like that is also potentially suggesting a lot, and you have to kind of make it an activity. I feel like a lot of the time for kids
Yeah.
to make it stick. But yeah, I think that parenting is a whole nother level to this. But do you ever like go into a conversation with someone and then you're kind of like, oh, you're just saying things. You're not actually like thinking about what you're saying. And like you can kind of recognize that like as you're talking to the person.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, how far do I go with this conversation? Because I might say some things that like are kind of above like where you're at right now. And like sometimes that's fine because then like you can learn from one another.
Yeah.
And then other times, depending on the person, that doesn't go over well because they feel like you're up here when really you're trying to be on the same level, but it's like they think you're just like trying to outdo them or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's how I feel about like with kids because like I don't have the best gauge of like where a kid is at, so I'm just like, do I talk down to you to try to reach your level at the risk of sounding condescending to you, or do I give you the respect of an adult to try to respect you, and here you are not understanding a clue of what the fuck I'm saying.
It's usually a good in between. It has to be an in between.
It's a hard balance to find sometimes.
Yeah, it also depends on the kid's age. Like I would say if they're younger, like very young, like 1, 2, 3 even, you know, I wouldn't talk down to them, but talk at their level, like in ways that they will understand. But if they're like, you know, 8, 9, 10, like 11, like you can talk to them more like adult like.
Hey, you play Fortnite?
Honestly, sometimes probably, yeah, like it's true. They probably
or
would be playing
Roblox
Fortnite.
or Minecraft. Well, what?
Sometimes kids are really even more intelligent than adults with that kind of stuff because they got the time. Like they know what's going on more because they have the time to understand it better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the day where a kid teaches me something like with like tech that I didn't know. I'm just like, oh fuck.
Oh yeah.
It's already starting. You grew up or you were born with an iPad in your hand.
Yeah. I love seeing like a lot of times I'll see like older people, like maybe someone who's like Gen Alpha or even Gen Z, but Gen Alpha a lot of the time, with their like older grandparent, and they're trying to like explain to their grandparent like, oh, this is how you do this thing, and the grandparent's like trying to understand, but it's just like not like clicking, and you can tell. And then like they're trying to explain it like very like small like little bits.
Who is Chad and what does GPT stand for?
Yeah, it's funny to watch sometimes.
Who's Al? No, it's AI.
AI. I've actually had an old person say that. Yeah, say that one time. I'm like, no.
Dude, some people don't even say meme right.
Oh,
they say
yeah.
Meme. But I get it. It looks like
I get it,
looks like
yeah.
that.
Well, it's like GIF and GIF, right? It's
Oh,
like,
that's going to start a debate. Like, do you say GIF or GIF? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, that's a whole nother one.
Hashtag Team GIF.
Team GIF, yeah. Yeah. I feel like this one's really good because thinking about thinking is like, seems kind of meta, but I also...
Hence metacognition.
Yeah, exactly. It's like very...
But I do think it is an important part of having, well, as he puts intelligence, but also emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
Because that's a big part of it.
Another part I want to touch on too is there was a part where he was like, you're able to like change your viewpoint. I think a lot of people think, especially when it comes to like politics, that if you change your opinion on something,
You're flip-flopping?
You're flip-flopping. When it's sometimes it's just an evolution of thought.
This is where we talk about nuance.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is flip-flopping.
Yes. Yeah.
Other times it is, like you said, an evolution. You've got new information and you've changed your mind, and that's okay.
Flip-flopping is like, I mean, kind of the definition. If you go from one thing to another thing to back to the other thing, that's flip-flopping. That's like if you're like, oh, I believe in this thing, now I believe in this thing, oh, I believe in the first thing
and
again.
I think a core thing with flip-flopping is a little bit of like dishonesty.
Yes. Yeah. Like you don't actually, you don't even believe in any of it. Like, yeah. Like
you're just going with what will get you elected or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or like you really don't have like a strong belief system. Like
Burr. No.
Right. Loki, that's what
Jefferson has beliefs. Burr has none.
Yeah. And like I like yeah, like that's a good example actually.
Yeah.
Of Yeah, I love that part in Hamilton too, because it's like he doesn't agree with Jefferson either, but he's like, well, at least you have conviction. Like you have things that you believe in and you stand by, even though I
Like
don't
he'll
agree
take
with you.
that over, the frenemyship he's had with Burr.
Yeah, exactly.
Where,
and like they've never seen eye to eye.
Yeah.
And then Burr is kind of just like ousted Eliza's dad from the Senate, and then you're like, well, that's not a good way to start things in general. If you already didn't have a good relationship, and now you have an even worse relationship, and then the endorsement, and that's what leads to his death. But at least in the musical, but it's just like I get that because. Yeah, like you do kind of need principles, like to a certain extent. Like I think that's sort of necessary for being like a decent human, and like if you don't have like principles or morals, then like what are you doing? Like
if you stand for nothing, Burr, what do you fall for?
Everything.
I'm just gonna pull out every lyric that is applicable.
Yeah, applicable for sure. Yeah, I kind of hate that narrative too, that people that. It's flip-flopping if you change your opinion on things, but it's like that's the point sometimes is like
it's growth.
Yeah, it's growth. You're not going to think the same you did at 19 as you do at like 30 or 40 or 50 even. Like you're allowed to change, like that's the point. And that's the nature of just life in general. So the fact that people are like, oh, you're flip-flopping, it's like, no, you're allowed to have an evolution of,
oh, you've changed. It's like
it's like that's the point. Like
that's the point. That's what people do, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, and like and sometimes when people say that, it's like it's not that people have changed, it's that you just haven't been paying attention.
Yeah. When people say, "Oh, you've changed," it's more like you grew.
Yeah, it's like you grew.
Yeah.
And it's like always said in that way where it's like, oh, you've changed, like that's like a negative,
in a bad way, like
like in a negative
you're
way.
not who you used to be, and like I miss the old you, and he's just like,
and you're just like, well, I'm sorry, that's not who I am anymore. Like like I've definitely
sorry,
gotten
I'm not
that.
the version of me that you want me to be.
Yeah, like who you find palatable.
Yeah,
like I have definitely gotten that before, and I'm just like like I'm always just like, what? Like what is like low key kind of a stupid thing to say. Like I don't get it. Especially when it's like that's the point to change, and like it's one thing if you change for the worse, but I feel like when most people say that, they don't say it because you've changed for the worse. Like maybe in the sense of like you've changed for the worse in their eyes, but for yourself it feels like growth. That's at least been my experience. And it's just like it's like you see my growth as a problem and I see it as like a good thing. It's like we're clearly not aligned, and that's like a whole other issue. But I really like this one. Like really like this one a lot. It's good.
It's gonna make me think about my thinking about my thinking.
Yeah, think about the thinking. This one could go on forever.
Thinkception, yeah.
Yeah, thinkception.
Overthinkers unite.
I mean, I have anxiety, so I am very comfortable in this topic.
I am learning I have more anxiety than I would like to lead on to.
True.
So
true.
I get it. I relate. Anything else you want to say about that one? I know we could. I feel like that one
we could go
really
forever.
talk about that
yeah,
one.
I'm good for now. I think.
Cool.
Unless you have anything you want to say.
Think thoughts, people. Think before you speak, and then think about your thinking.
That helps.
And then speak.
Then speak.
All right. One more.
One more. Puzzle test for kids' success. I like that rhyme. Puzzle test for kids' success.
This is a crazy story. If you have young kids, you gotta hear this. A Chinese teacher once said that you can tell within 3 minutes whether a child will be successful later in life based on the reaction of their parents. And the specific reaction that she was talking about was the reaction to a puzzle, a simple puzzle that was a little bit too hard for the kids, so that they would get frustrated. Which one of these would have been your reaction? Some of the parents responded by jumping in the second that their child started to struggle. They could not handle watching their kid struggle for any amount of time. Other parents were way over the top when their child eventually solved the puzzle, clapping and cheering and celebrating. Some would even take photos of their child.
This is a you can do hard things moment.
Some parents got frustrated with the teacher and told them that this was an inappropriate test. Why were they giving the kids such a hard puzzle? But you want to know which group of parents had the most successful kids later on in life? The parents who did almost nothing. When their child was struggling, they sat quietly and let them figure it out. When their child eventually solved the puzzle, they said, "Nice job," and then they moved on. And if their child didn't solve the puzzle, they didn't make excuses. They didn't complain to the teacher. And the reason why that is something that most people don't understand. The kids who got rescued every time never gained confidence. They didn't believe that they were up to the task. They became adults who quit the second anything got tough. The kids who had parents who celebrated like crazy when they were successful learned to seek validation externally. They became adults who couldn't do a job well unless everybody was watching and telling them how great they were. The kids whose parents made excuses and complained became people who couldn't take accountability for anything. All of their failures were somebody else's fault. But the kids whose parents stayed calm in the face of uncertainty learned something different. They learned that discomfort is normal. They learned that achievement does not require applause. They learned that they were accountable for their own failures and therefore also for their own wins. They became adults who could quietly handle problems without needing their hand held or their ego fed. And when you think about the people in your life who act like that, it makes sense. Your parents' reactions to your childhood struggles programmed how you will deal with challenges today. So tell me, which one of those parents are you? And if you want help parenting for the long term, follow along. This is a crazy story.
That's cool.
I like that analysis.
Yeah.
Especially at the end where the part he said like your parents' reactions to how you struggled. Oh, fuck, what did he say? I want to get the quote right because it was really good.
Who act like that? It makes sense. Your parents' reaction to your childhood struggles programmed how you will deal with challenges today. So tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's a lot of truth to that. And I try to as I was watching this I was trying to figure out like which parent would I have been and I do think my knee-jerk reaction would be to like really celebrate my kid and be like, hey, good job. You figured out that really hard puzzle.
I think I would be the middle ground where I would be like, I'd be encouraging like during the process. Like I'd be like, oh, you can do it. Like, this may seem difficult, but you can do it. You can do hard things, like that kind of thing. Like not be like over the top about it, but also be like, gently being like, hey, this is hard for you, but that doesn't mean you can't do it. Yeah. It just means that, this is hard right now, but you can push forward or figure it out.
Yeah. Because I do think, because that strikes a really good balance of like, you are validating that they struggled and overcame it and you're celebrating that, but you're not overdoing it to where now that's all that they look for. Yeah. And they become dependent on something like that.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with like necessarily celebrating your kid, but I do think you need to know like the time and place. Yeah. For sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, and I was also wondering if there was going to be like a mention of like parents like getting frustrated that the kid was frustrated. I wonder like,
which they then took out on the teacher.
Yeah. Like, and I was just like, I can see that happening. Like, I can see that being like Yeah,
and that's just, unless the teacher's truly doing something like inappropriate or like. Yeah. Or
but
like
a puzzle, like it's a puzzle. Yeah. It's fine.
Like. Yeah, you're not trying to have them solve trigonometry equations.
No, exactly. Like developmentally, like that doesn't make sense, obviously.
Yeah, no.
Unless they're a genius, in which case maybe it does make sense.
Yeah.
But I think that is a good a good test to maybe be like, oh, this is how kids will be. Because I can also see like how if kids are like overly celebrated, like they expect that from everyone, like growing up. Not realizing like also the nuance that if your parents are doing it, well, it's because it's their parents. Like, like your parents are doing it because they love you and they care about you and that's that. Like, but that doesn't necessarily mean that everyone in your life is going to do that or like, because you're not necessarily for everybody.
Yeah. I could also see myself being like the parent that steps in as soon as the kid struggles, but not in this situation where it's like, you know, a controlled learning environment and whatnot. Yeah. That's where I'm just like, okay, it's okay to struggle a little bit. Like, just try to learn it. And then, like, you know, if I can help without necessarily, like, just straight up giving you the answer.
Yeah.
You know, I'll try to do that. I'll try to encourage that learning, that curiosity.
Yes.
But
that's like the kind of balance I would want to strike. Like, yes, step in when your kid needs help, but also know when to like step back.
Yeah.
Like that I think is really important.
Yeah.
Because it's like you shouldn't have to like help. You shouldn't need to hold your child's hand through literally everything. If you do, that's not really a good. I don't know if that's necessarily good parenting. You know, it's just like, because eventually they will need to do things on their own.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard.
Because there are times like where I'm like trying to do something and someone offers to help and I just started trying to do it and I'm just like, oh, I'm not saying this out loud, but in my mind I'm thinking, oh, I just give me a second to figure it out. I can probably do it. But I know that person was probably just trying to be helpful. But
yeah, I also think it depends on people's learning styles too.
Yeah.
Because I don't necessarily know if they're taking like learning disabilities potentially like into consideration here, but yeah, like also people just learn differently. Like some people learn better by doing, other people learn better by direction. That's definitely something I've very much understood like working my job. It's like some people prefer like an organized list, and then other people are more okay with like just going off the cuff and like, you know, remembering to do things.
I'm sure you also grew up hearing like the different like learning styles. Like some people are like auditory learners, some people are visual learners. I forget where I heard it from, but I heard that's mostly been debunked now. And that's more or less just kind of like maybe a preference as opposed to like
actual styles.
Oh, you are only a visual learner, or you are only an auditory learner.
I think that there is, of course, more nuance to that.
Absolutely.
I would say there's some, like that definitely is based in some sort of reality, because I feel like it is true that some people have, you know, preference is probably a better word for one versus the other. What's your preference? Like,
I thought I was, when growing up, when we were learning about this, I was like, oh, I think, well, actually, I would probably flip-flop between them. I'd probably be like, I'm a visual learner. And then I was like, no, I really like to, I'm an auditory learner too. And I was like, no, I really like doing it hands-on. I think that's the best. I would say I'm everything.
Yeah, which I think is well-rounded. I think for me, it depends on the situation.
Let me hear it. Let me see it. Let me touch it. Let me taste it. No.
I like if it's like actionable, like if I'm just doing something at work, I prefer to just do it. Like I prefer to just like jump in.
I think doing it is the best thing, because like you could be the perfect describer of how to do something. You could give directions perfectly.
Yeah.
But if the other person on their end just isn't receptive to that and they have to actually do it themselves.
And sometimes you need that context.
Yeah.
That matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think this might just be my preference, but I think hands-on, like actually doing the thing is, well, it's the quickest way to learn and maybe the most effective way.
Yeah. I really like, like it's like in adult life, I'm definitely more like hands-on, but with, but it also depends on what I'm learning. Like if I'm learning something like contextual, more like historical, things like that, like things that like led to other things, I want that to be like visual. Like I want that to be like explained to me or read. Like I want to actually be like reading that information, because I don't want to like miss anything important. So it kind of depends on like the situation for me, which is ironic though, because I listen to a lot of audiobooks. Yeah. So I'm like,
I was wondering if you were going to say something about audio and audio stuff, because you do listen to a lot of audiobooks, and similarly to that, I listen to a lot of podcasts.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with like auditory learning as well. So
yeah, that's one thing with audiobooks that some people, I've never personally had this problem with podcast or audiobooks. But I know a lot of people do, that they cannot like focus on it enough, or like they have a hard time like splitting their attention. I know that like it's kind of debatable if like multitasking is even like really a thing. But I don't know. I find that like I've never really struggled in that way to be listening to something and then be doing something at the same time. Like I do think you may miss things, which is, you know, potentially true. But oftentimes, like, I think this is where like you're like kind of like your, like, you know, when you read something and then you're able to like summarize it, like that kind of situation. I think that's where that kind of skill comes in when you're listening, because you like can still gain the understanding of like what's going on in the book or what's going on in the podcast without being like 100% present for it. And also, like, I think it's somewhat of a necessary skill with us doing so much all the time. Yeah, I don't know.
I think for me with podcasts specifically, there are podcasts where I will not put it on unless I'm going to intently listen to it and do pretty much nothing else.
Yeah.
And then there are podcasts where, like, yeah, I'll throw it on because it's just kind of a vibe and, like, I'm here for the ride for it. And if I miss something, I'll just go back. It's not a big deal. Yeah. But then there are some times where it's just like, no, I am putting you on because I want to hear this discussion. I want to soak in every word. And I want to learn as much as I can.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you have to be in different mindsets for certain things. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think there's, I'm sure audiobooks are mostly are similar in some ways. I'm sure there's some you can put on and, you know, just have it on, and then there are some where you're like, oh no, I want to know the story. Yeah, because it depends on like how like complicated the narrative is. Like if it's like you can kind of follow the story, or it's like similar to other stories, you kind of know where it's going generally, but you're kind of just there for the vibe in the book and just to be interested. But then sometimes you're just like, oh, I actually want to know like what you're saying. Like I do that a lot with like if I'm doing like self-help books or like memoirs, like I do want to understand like where this person is coming from. But if it's like a narrative type story, unless it's like incredibly complex, I'm very much like, oh yeah, I can just put it on and listen. Yeah. And, like I kind of already know. I think I need to get in the habit. If I'm going to do something and I want to put something on, podcasts are usually the best thing because it's only audio. If I put on like a YouTube video or something, I'm getting sucked into that. If I'm putting a movie or a TV show on, I'm getting sucked in. I'm not going to get anything done. So yeah, which is funny because I treat movies and TV shows and stuff like that like podcasts sometimes. I think it depends. If it's something I've seen before and it's just like a comfort thing, sure, throw it on. Throw on Twilight, yeah, a million times I've seen that. No, I'll still get sucked in. Sometimes, yeah. Like especially when you're like, oh, this is a good part, and then you're suddenly watching for like 30 minutes. Yeah. I've been folding the same sock for 30 minutes. For real. No, there's something you can put on and you can just chill with it in the background. And then other things where I'm just like, I'm so locked in, nothing else can distract me right now. Yeah. It's all about finding that balance. Yeah. Anything else you want to say about that one? I'm good. Cool. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for us for this week. Thank you guys so much for joining us and listening. If you don't want the party to end, consider joining us over on Patreon, where we record for a few extra minutes after the episode ends. Let me take a second to just talk about the Patreon a little bit more. There's currently 2 tiers. There's one, the $2 tier, it's just pure support. That you just want to show your support for us, and we're very thankful for that. And then the other tier is the $5 tier, where you'll get all the bonus content. And yeah, it's just $5 a month. But if you'd rather not and you want to do a one-time thing, you can buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/nuancedafpod. Lex, thank you so much for the coffee that you made me. You're welcome. It's very, 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 very good. You've been liking my coffees lately. You drink coffee? I am drinking coffee. This one, I know what your wallet is called. I'm not going to call it Cocoa Delight. Oh, yeah. It's Strawberry Fields, right? Yeah, Strawberry Fields. Yeah, I like that name. You thought it was watermelon? You're not the only one either. A lot of people thought it was watermelon. I think the little bit of green there makes you think watermelon. Yeah, will make you think watermelon before strawberry. Strawberry. Yeah. It's funny because like watermelon and strawberry have like the same color palette. Yeah. Yeah. So it's like I totally get it. It makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. I made a shaken espresso. Oh, nice. Yeah. It's a caramel shaken espresso. Very nice. Very nice. But if you want a free way to support, consider subscribing to us on YouTube. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers so we can monetize our channel. You can find all our links in the description or show notes or at linktree/nuancedafpod. That is linktr.ee/nuancedafpod. Thank you again so much for joining us and listening. And remember, in a world where nothing is black and white, it's our jobs as human beings to find, understand, and be that nuance, because we are all nuanced AF.